Have you ever noticed that even when you try to eat well, your body just doesn't feel the way it used to? Maybe you wake up tired despite a full night's sleep, or you feel a little stiffer, a little slower, like your energy is slipping away no matter how hard you try to hold on to it. If you're nodding along, you're not alone. For those of us over 60, these subtle changes can feel like a mystery, a quiet signal from our bodies that something isn't quite right. But what if I told you that the answer might be hiding in plain sight, right there on your plate? Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know your age and where you're watching from. We're reading every single comment and responding, so take a moment to share. It means the world to connect with you. Hello, I'm Dr. Hayato Shimizu, a physician specializing in care for older adults with over 20 years of experience. I've sat across from countless patients, listening to their stories, their struggles, and their hopes for a healthier, more vibrant life. But what breaks my heart is seeing people slowly get sicker, believing they're doing everything right. They're eating foods they've been told are healthy, following advice that sounds good on paper, yet their energy fades, their joints ache, and their hearts are working harder than they should. What most people don't realize is that some of the foods we eat every day, foods we think are harmless or even good for us, could be silently damaging our hearts, accelerating aging and stealing the vitality we deserve in our golden years. Let's start with a story. I had a patient named Margaret, a vibrant 67-year-old who loved her morning routine. Every day, she'd start with a bowl of what she thought was the healthiest breakfast: low-fat yogurt, a handful of granola, and a glass of orange juice. Sounds perfect, right? She was doing what magazines and TV ads told her was good for her heart, but when she came to me, she was exhausted, her cholesterol was creeping up, and she was starting to feel like her body was betraying her. Margaret's story isn't unique. It's one I hear over and over, and it's exactly why we're here today. The truth is, some of the foods we trust most, the ones we believe are helping us, might be doing the opposite. And it's exactly here that the danger lies. Let's talk about one of those foods: fruit juice. You might be thinking, but Dr. Shimizu, isn't juice packed with vitamins? Isn't it natural? That's what most people believe. For years, we've been told that a glass of orange juice is a great way to start the day, full of vitamin C and antioxidants. But here's what few people know: most store-bought juices, even the ones labeled 100% natural, are loaded with sugar. A single glass can have as much sugar as a soda, sometimes more. A 2023 study from the Mayo Clinic found that regularly drinking fruit juice was linked to higher levels of inflammation in the body, which is like pouring fuel on the fire for heart disease. When you sip that juice, your blood sugar spikes, your insulin surges, and over time, this can stress your blood vessels, making your heart work harder than it needs to. For someone over 60, when our bodies are already less efficient at managing these spikes, that glass of juice isn't just a drink, it's a silent strain on your heart. Now, I'm not saying you need to throw out every carton of juice in your fridge. It's not about cutting everything out, but about understanding what your body needs now. After 60, your metabolism changes. Your heart doesn't bounce back from stress the way it did when you were 30. Those daily habits, the ones you barely think about, start to add up. And that's where the opportunity lies too. Because with a few small conscious choices, you can turn things around. You're not too old to change. You're just learning what really works for your body now. Let's think about another food that sneaks onto our plates: whole grain bread. You've probably heard that whole grains are heart healthy, and in some ways that's true, but not all breads are created equal. Many of the whole grain loaves you find in the supermarket are packed with refined flours, hidden sugars, and additives that your body doesn't need. I remember another patient, Robert, who was 72 and proud of his healthy lifestyle. He ate whole grain toast every morning, thinking he was protecting his heart, but his blood pressure was climbing, and he was starting to feel sluggish. When we looked closer, we found that his healthy bread was spiking his blood sugar and contributing to inflammation, which was putting extra strain on his arteries. A 2021 study from Harvard Medical School showed that many commercial whole grain products have a glycemic index similar to white bread, meaning they can cause the same kind of blood sugar roller coaster that harms your heart over time. What makes this so tricky is that these foods are marketed as healthy. The labels scream low-fat, natural, or heart-healthy, and we trust them. We think we're making the right choices, but our bodies tell a different story. The fatigue, the aches, the feeling that you're not quite yourself, those are your body's way of saying, hey, let's rethink this. And the good news? You can listen. You can make changes that give your heart the support it needs to keep you strong, active, and full of life. Now let's talk about something else that might surprise you: low-fat dairy. For years, we were told to ditch full-fat milk, cheese, and yogurt because fat was the enemy. But what pouches of low-fat yogurt, like the ones Margaret loved, often hide is a shocking amount of added sugar to make up for the flavor lost when the fat is removed. A 2024 study from the American Heart Association found that people who regularly ate low-fat dairy products had a higher risk of developing heart issues compared to those who chose full-fat versions in moderation. Why? Because the sugar in those healthy yogurts can drive inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which are like a slow drip of stress on your heart. Plus, the fat in dairy isn't the villain we once thought. Healthy fats, like those in whole milk or plain Greek yogurt, can actually help stabilize your blood sugar and keep you satisfied, reducing the urge to snack on processed carbs later. This is where it gets exciting. You're not powerless. You're not stuck. Every bite you take is a chance to nourish your body, to protect your heart, and to feel more like yourself again. Imagine waking up with more energy, feeling lighter, stronger, and more in control of your health. That's not a pipe dream. It's what happens when you start making choices that align with what your body needs now, at this stage of life. So what's one small step you can take today? Swap that morning glass of juice for a piece of whole fruit, like an apple or a handful of berries. The fiber in the fruit slows down the sugar absorption, giving your heart a break. Or try a slice of bread made from sprouted grains, which are easier on your blood sugar. These aren't massive changes, they're simple, intentional shifts that add up over time. And that's the key. Small choices, made consistently, can transform how you feel. As we move forward, we're going to dig deeper into other foods that might be sneaking into your diet, quietly undermining your health. We'll talk about how to spot them, what to choose instead, and how to make these changes feel effortless. Because you deserve to feel vibrant, strong, and full of life, no matter your age. You're not just getting older, you're getting wiser. And with that wisdom comes the power to make choices that keep your heart beating strong. As we continue this journey, let's keep that spark of curiosity alive. You're here because you care about your health, about feeling your best, and about giving your heart the care it deserves. That's a powerful choice, and it's one that can change everything. We've already uncovered how foods like fruit juice, certain whole grain breads, and low-fat dairy can sneakily work against your body, even when you think you're making the right call. Now, let's peel back another layer and explore more of these everyday foods that might be quietly chipping away at your vitality. The beauty is, once you see them for what they are, you can make choices that bring you closer to the energy and strength you want to feel every day. Picture this. You're at the grocery store, strolling down the aisle, and you grab a box of heart-healthy cereal. The front of the box has a big red heart and words like low cholesterol but fortified with vitamins. It feels like a win, right? You're thinking, this is going to keep me going strong. But here's what most people don't know. Many of those cereals, even the ones marketed as healthy, are loaded with refined carbohydrates and hidden sugars. A 2022 study from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that diets high in refined grains, like those found in many breakfast cereals, were linked to a higher risk of heart disease in adults over 60. Why? Because those quick-digesting carbs spike your blood sugar, trigger inflammation, and over time, put stress on your arteries. It's like asking your heart to run a marathon every morning without any training. I had a patient named George, a 68-year-old retired teacher who loved his morning bowl of cereal. He'd pair it with skim milk, thinking he was doing his heart a favor. But George was struggling with weight gain, high triglycerides, and a constant feeling of being off. When we looked at his diet, that healthy cereal was a big culprit. It wasn't just the sugar, it was the lack of real nutrients that his body needed to thrive. We swapped his cereal for a bowl of plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries and a sprinkle of nuts. Within weeks, he felt more energized, his blood work improved, and he even started enjoying his food more. The switch wasn't about deprivation, it was about giving his body what it truly needed. Let's talk about another food that often hides in plain sight: salad dressings. You're probably thinking, Dr. Shimizu, a salad is the ultimate healthy choice. And you're right. A salad full of fresh greens, vegetables, and lean protein can be a powerhouse meal. But those store-bought dressings, even the ones labeled light or low-fat, can turn a nutritious meal into a heart health hazard. Many are packed with sugar, unhealthy oils, and additives that drive inflammation. A 2024 study from the Cleveland Clinic showed that certain vegetable oils, like soybean or corn oil, commonly used in these dressings, can increase oxidative stress in the body, which damages blood vessels over time. For someone over 60, when your body's natural repair systems are slowing down, that extra stress can make a big difference. What's the alternative? It's simpler than you think. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil with a splash of balsamic vinegar or lemon juice can transform your salad into a heart-protecting meal. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants that actually reduce inflammation and support your arteries. It's not about giving up flavor, it's about choosing ingredients that love your body back. And that is the mindset shift we are after. Every choice you make is a chance to nourish yourself, to feel stronger, to live longer with the people you love. Now, let's touch on something you might not expect. Canned soups. They're convenient, comforting, and often marketed as a wholesome choice, especially for a quick lunch or dinner. But here's where the danger sneaks in. Many canned soups are loaded with sodium, sometimes more than half your daily recommended intake in a single serving. A 2023 study from the National Institutes of Health found that high sodium intake is directly linked to increased blood pressure and a higher risk of heart failure, especially in older adults. Your heart is already working hard to keep you going. A bowl of salty soup can make it work overtime, straining your blood vessels and raising your risk of serious issues down the line. I remember a patient, Linda, who was 70 and loved her daily bowl of canned vegetable soup. She thought it was a healthy choice, packed with veggies. But her blood pressure was stubbornly high, and she was starting to feel short of breath during her walks. When we looked at her diet, we realized the sodium in those soups was a big factor. We didn't tell Linda to stop eating soup. Instead, we helped her make her own, using fresh vegetables, herbs, and low-sodium broth. She was amazed at how much better she felt, and her blood pressure started to stabilize. It wasn't about taking away her comfort food, it was about making it work for her health. What's so powerful about these stories, about Margaret, George, and Linda, is that they're not just patients. They're people like you. They're people who want to enjoy life, stay active, and feel good in their bodies. And they're proof that small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. You don't have to feel deprived or overwhelmed. It's about taking one step at a time, learning what your body needs now, and making choices that give you back your energy and vitality. Think about your own kitchen for a moment. What's one food you eat regularly because you think it's healthy? Maybe it's that heart-healthy cereal, a low-fat dressing, or a can of soup you keep on hand for busy days. Now imagine swapping it for something that truly nourishes you, something that supports your heart and helps you feel more alive. That's not a sacrifice. That's an investment in yourself. You're not too old to make these changes. You are just at the perfect moment to start listening to your body and giving it what it needs to thrive. As we move forward, we are going to dive even deeper into how you can take control of your health with simple, practical steps. We'll uncover more foods that might be holding you back and share strategies to replace them with choices that lift you up, because you deserve to feel strong, vibrant, and full of life, no matter your age. Your heart is still beating, still working for you every day. Let's work together to keep it strong for years to come. Here we are, at the heart of our journey together. You've already discovered so much about how everyday foods, ones you thought were helping you, might be quietly working against your heart. We've talked about fruit juice, certain breads, low-fat dairy, cereals, salad dressings, and canned soups, all marketed as healthy, but often hiding ingredients that stress your body, especially after 60. Now, let us bring this home with a deeper look at what's at stake and how you can take charge of your health with confidence and clarity. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about realizing that every choice you make today is a step toward a stronger, more vibrant you. Let's start with a food that's practically a staple in many homes. Processed snacks, like those baked chips or healthy crackers. You know the ones? They come in bright packages with words like low-fat or made with whole grains plastered across the front. They seem like a guilt-free way to satisfy a craving. But what most people don't know is that these snacks are often loaded with refined flours, sodium, and unhealthy fats that can wreak havoc on your heart. A 2023 study from the University of California found that frequent consumption of processed snacks was linked to higher levels of LDL cholesterol, the kind that clogs arteries in adults over 60. These snacks might taste light, but they're heavy on your heart, triggering inflammation and making it harder for your body to stay balanced. I had a patient named Susan, a 65-year-old grandmother who loved her afternoon ritual of tea and crackers. She'd sit with her grandkids, munching on what she thought was a harmless snack. But Susan was starting to feel foggy, her joints were aching, and her doctor was concerned about her rising cholesterol. When we dug into her diet, those healthy crackers were a big part of the problem. They were packed with sodium and processed oils that were quietly stressing her heart. We didn't take away her ritual. Instead, we swapped the crackers for a handful of raw almonds and some sliced veggies. Susan was amazed at how much sharper she felt, and her cholesterol numbers started to improve. It wasn't about giving up joy. It was about finding better ways to enjoy it. Now, let's talk about something that might hit close to home: diet sodas and sugar-free drinks. You might reach for these thinking they're a smart choice, especially if you're watching your weight or managing diabetes. But here's where the danger hides. Many of these drinks contain artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose that can disrupt your metabolism and even affect your heart. A 2024 study from Johns Hopkins University found that regular consumption of artificial sweeteners was associated with an increased risk of heart rhythm issues like atrial fibrillation in older adults. Your heart deserves better than a chemical cocktail disguised as a healthy drink. Instead, try infusing water with fresh fruit or sipping unsweetened herbal tea. It's a small shift that feels refreshing and keeps your heart humming along smoothly. What is so powerful about all of this is that you are not just learning what to avoid, you're discovering what to embrace. Your body is still capable of healing, of thriving, of feeling better than it has in years. You're not too old to change. You're at the perfect moment to start. Think about what it would feel like to wake up with more energy, to move through your day with less pain, to know that you are giving your heart the support it needs to keep you dancing with your grandkids, traveling with friends, or simply enjoying a quiet morning on your porch. That's not a dream. It's a possibility, and it starts with the choices you make today. Let's reflect for a moment. What's one food or drink in your life that you've always thought was healthy? Maybe it's that diet soda you sip with lunch, those crackers you keep in the pantry, or even the natural energy bar you grab on busy days. Now imagine replacing it with something that truly nourishes you, something that makes you feel alive and strong. Maybe it's a piece of dark chocolate with a handful of walnuts, or a smoothie made with fresh spinach and berries. These aren't punishments. They're gifts to yourself, ways to honor the incredible body that's carried you this far. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a story that stays with me. I had a patient named James, a 71-year-old, who came to me feeling defeated. He'd been diagnosed with high blood pressure and was terrified of what it meant for his future. He loved his healthy granola bars and diet drinks, thinking they were keeping him on track, but his body was telling a different story. Together, we made small changes, swapping the granola bars for fresh fruit, the diet soda for sparkling water with a splash of lemon, and the canned soups for homemade versions. Within months, James was a different person. His blood pressure was under control, he was walking every morning, and he told me he felt like he'd gotten a piece of his younger self back. James didn't just change his diet, he changed his life. And you can too. You're not here by accident. You're here because you want to feel better, live longer, and enjoy every moment of these precious years. Your heart is still beating strong, and with every conscious choice, you're giving it the chance to keep doing so for years to come. So, take a moment to think about one small change you can make today. Maybe it is reading the label on that healthy snack or trying a new recipe that is kind to your heart. Whatever it is, know that you're not alone. We're in this together, and every step you take is a victory. Before we go, I want to hear from you. If you've made it this far, drop a comment below and share your biggest health concern or question. It might just inspire our next video. Your story matters, and we're here to support you. Share this video with someone you care about, someone who deserves to feel as vibrant as you do. Let's keep this conversation going and keep choosing health, vitality, and life. You've got this.